Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're going deep on The Rocking Horse Winner by D.H. Lawrence.
Oh, yeah.
It's
This is a good one.
it's a story that's always kind of stuck with me. It's about this kid, Paul, who gets obsessed with predicting winning racehorses.
And how he does it.
Yeah, by riding his rocking horse.
I mean, that's what really pulls you in right away. It's so strange and fascinating. And then as you get into it, you realize it's not just about predicting horses.
Real.
Lawrence is really exploring some complex themes like greed and desire and the desperate need for love and approval.
Right. And this family that Paul is part of, they live in this nice house.
Yeah.
But there's this constant tension, this anxiety around money.
Yeah, it's almost like this whispering, this feeling of never having enough that hangs over the family.
Yeah, you can practically feel it.
You really can.
Yeah.
And it seems to affect Paul the most.
He's definitely sensitive to it. Which brings us to the family dynamics. The mother is described as beautiful, but deeply unhappy.
Unable to really connect with her children.
Then there's the father.
Who struggles financially.
Despite
Despite having...
through crossbacks.
Like, he should be doing well, but things just don't seem to work out for him.
Yeah. And the way Lawrence creates this sense of dissonance between their outward appearance of success and their internal turmoil.
Right.
It's striking.
He does it so subtly, through small details like the mother's obsession with keeping up appearances.
Right. And the children pick up on that, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially Paul. He sees right through his mother's facade.
Which fuels his desire to please her.
Exactly. He's longing for her love and approval. And it's this longing that drives his obsession with luck.
He becomes convinced that luck is the key to solving all their problems.
And most importantly, silencing that whispering in the house.
Yeah, and his rocking horse. It becomes this tool for him,
Almost like
a way to tap into...
a mystical conduit to the world of luck.
Yeah, and to control fate, to force his own luck.
And he gets so caught up in it, you can see it in the description of his eyes, the strange glare.
Right.
As he's writing.
Yeah, it's like this desperation to find the winning horse to somehow win his mother's love.
And earn that approval that he so desperately craves.
It's heartbreaking. He's just a child.
He is, trying to fix something so far beyond his control.
And then he starts placing bets with Bassett the gardener.
Who's already deep into the horse racing world.
Right. Bassett represents the adult world, enabling Paul's obsession.
Exactly. He doesn't question it. He just goes along with it.
And things really escalate when Paul's uncle gets involved. Oscar Cresswell.
Uncle Oscar embodies a different kind of luck.
Right. He's got wealth and social standing.
And he's skeptical of Paul at first.
Of course.
But then he sees how accurate Paul's predictions are.
He gets drawn in.
Yeah, by the possibility of making even more money.
Even though he knows it's a bit unsettling.
You can sense that conflict in him.
Yeah, the desire for wealth overriding any moral qualms.
And you know what's interesting?
What's that?
Paul starts winning more and more money.
But it doesn't silence the whispering in the house.
It actually gets louder.
It's like this ironic twist. What he thinks will solve the problem actually makes it worse.
Because it's not really about the money.
Right.
It's about this deeper emptiness that can't be filled with material possessions.
They're trapped in this cycle of desire that can never be satisfied.
Lawrence is showing us that the pursuit of wealth for its own sake is ultimately hollow.
It's a powerful statement about the limitations of material possession.
Absolutely.
And it sets the stage for the story's tragic climax, the Derby.
Where Paul becomes consumed with finding the winner. He rides his rocking horse with this
Fervor.
yeah, almost a
Desperation.
desperation. Yeah, it's terrifying.
Like he's trying to control fate itself.
And in a way he does. He collapses muttering the name of the winning horse, Malabar.
It's a victory.
But at a devastating cost.
He dies shortly after, surrounded by all these predictions and winnings.
And his mother's reaction. It's chilling.
Grief mixed with this.
Relief almost.
Yeah, almost gratitude for the fortune he's left them.
It's like their values have become so distorted.
They've lost sight of what truly matters.
Yeah.
And then Uncle Oscar's final words about Paul being better off out of a life where he rides his rocking horse to find a winner.
Haunting.
It really is.
Yeah.
It encapsulates the tragedy of Paul's short life.
Consumed by this desperate pursuit of luck and wealth.
It makes you wonder, in our own world, where we're constantly bombarded with messages about achieving more and accumulating more.
Are we sacrificing what truly matters?
Are we riding our own rocking horses?
That's the question Lawrence wants us to grapple with, and it's just the beginning. There's so much more to unpack here, especially the symbolism.
Yeah, let's delve into that.
Okay.
The rocking horse itself. the whispering house.
All these layers of meaning that Lawrence weaves into the story?
I'm ready to dive deeper.
Let's do it. So the symbolism in The Rocking Horse Winner, it's really key to understanding the story's deeper meaning. Like you said, the rocking horse itself.
Yeah, on the surface, it's just a toy.
Right, a symbol of childhood.
But for Paul, it becomes something much more
Twisted. Yeah.
almost sinister.
Like he's trying to gain control over something he can't possibly control.
His family's happiness, his mother's love,
Exactly. He's using the rocking horse to try and manipulate fate.
and the intensity of his riding.
His need to get there, to find that winning horse.
It reveals this deep anxiety, this belief that if he can just find the winner, everything will be okay.
And it ties into the Whispering House as well. It's not just about their financial struggles. It's about this broader societal pressure, the relentless pursuit of wealth that Lawrence was so critical of.
It's like the house itself is a character,
Right, this oppressive presence.
reflecting their anxieties.
And it makes you think about our own lives today.
Right.
The pressures we face
To achieve more.
to keep up with everyone else.
What are our rocking horses? What are we desperately trying to control?
Such a good question. Lawrence forces us to confront those desires,
Yeah.
Are they really serving us?
And he contrasts this desire for wealth with these images of emptiness.
The luxurious furnishings, the expensive toys.
But they don't bring joy.
No, they just highlight this sense of unease.
This feeling that something is missing.
And that something is genuine connection, the love and acceptance Paul craves from his mother.
Which he's trying to earn through material wealth.
But it's a hollow pursuit.
He achieves what he sets out to do. He brings in a fortune, silences the whispering,
But at what cost?
his life,
And even in death, his victory feels empty.
because it doesn't bring him the love he longed for.
And Uncle Oscar's remark about Paul being better off dead,
It's brutal.
it's Lawrence's way of saying, look what happens when we let ambition consume us.
When we sacrifice everything for what we think we want.
It's a cautionary tale.
So what can we take away from all this? How do we apply these insights to our own lives?
Well, I think one of the most important takeaways is the importance of questioning our desires.
Really examining them.
What are we really seeking? Is it wealth, status, or something deeper?
And are we willing to sacrifice our well-being, our relationships for those things?
It's a powerful message, especially today.
When we're constantly bombarded with messages about success and achievement,
Equating happiness with material possessions.
it's easy to get caught up in that.
And remember, the story isn't just about money. It's about any form of obsessive desire.
Right? It could be fame, power.
Even something seemingly positive, like success in your career.
Lawrence is exploring the dark side of ambition.
How it can blind us to what truly matters.
It's a timeless theme.
And it makes you think about our values as a society. Are we too focused on external markers of success?
At the expense of our inner fulfillment.
Our relationships, the things that really nourish us.
There's one thing that I keep coming back to, Paul's need to know. The winning horse.
Yeah.
To control fate. It's like he's trying to create certainty in a world that's inherently uncertain.
That's a brilliant observation. I think it speaks to this illusion of control.
Right.
This very human desire to impose order on chaos.
And the rocking horse becomes his way of doing that.
Giving him this false sense of agency.
But it ultimately leads to his destruction.
His death isn't just about the physical act of riding. It's about the mental and emotional exhaustion.
Of trying to achieve the impossible.
Which brings us to another important takeaway. The need to recognize our limits.
We can't control everything.
Sometimes the bravest thing we can do is surrender.
Except the things we can't change.
And focus on what we can control. Our actions, our choices.
Our responses to life's challenges.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
freeing in a way, isn't it? To acknowledge that we don't have to control everything.
It is. And it makes me think about something we talked about earlier. That true happiness doesn't come from some external goal.
Right.
But from something deeper.
Exactly. The Rocking Horse Winner really forces us to look at our values.
Yeah.
Are we chasing after things that don't really matter? Or are we focusing on what truly nourishes us?
Like genuine connection, meaningful relationship.
Yeah, those are the things that bring lasting fulfillment.
It's amazing how relevant this story still feels today.
Well, yeah, right? Almost 100 years later.
And it shows how skilled Lawrence was at capturing the human experience.
He had this incredible ability to tap into those universal desires and anxieties that we all face.
And his writing style? It's so evocative.
Oh, yeah. The imagery, the symbolism.
Like a whispering house.
It's such a simple image, but it creates this sense of unease, this underlying tension that
Yeah.
permeates the entire story.
And the rocking horse, too. It starts as this symbol of innocence,
Right.
and then it becomes this twisted representation of Paul's desperation.
It's like Lawrence is showing us that even the most innocent things can be distorted by our desires.
Makes you wonder, what are the walking horses in our own lives? What are we clinging to?
Trying to control.
Even when it's harmful.
Yeah. That's the question I hope our listeners will take away from this deep dive.
To be mindful of those desires.
To really examine what motivates them.
And to recognize that sometimes what we think will bring us happiness
Can actually lead to our destruction.
Exactly. And as we wrap up our exploration of the Rocking Horse Winter, I want to encourage everyone listening to really reflect on this story. What resonated with you? What are your own rocking horses?
What are you desperately trying to control?
And what might you be sacrificing in the process?
These are tough questions.
But they're important ones.
And if you found this deep dive thought-provoking, I highly recommend checking out more of D.H. Lawrence's work.
He was such a brilliant writer.
His stories and novels offer these timeless insights into the human condition.
It's been a fascinating journey into the Rocking Horse Winter.
It really has.
A story that's both unsettling and deeply profound.
I think we all learned a lot.
We hope you did too. And until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep seeking the things that truly matter.